Hello YouTube, this is Jesse with a review video of the original iPod with touch wheel. So this is the iPod, basically the iPod second generation, and I will review it using an iBook. I loaded the songs onto it using my iMac G3, so I'll just do a review video of it and tell you a little bit more about it and the history, a little bit of the history of it. So let me just boot the computer up. Wait for this. Apple symbol. Okay. Now, while this is booting up, I will tell you a little bit more about the iPod. Well, the iPod, as you can see, is very large and small in different ways. Large in being it is very wide. Well, the dimension of it is very wide. The dimension of the screen is very small. It's only 2 inches diameter. A lot different going on with the controls of the iPod. Same regular controls: menu, skip, back, play, pause, select, and we have the scroll wheel. So this certain iPod is iPod with a 10 gigabyte flash hard drive. It was introduced by Apple in July 2002 and it was discontinued in April 2003. It came in a 10 gigabyte and a 20 gigabyte model, and it was this was the first iPod that was compatible with Mac and PC. The first iPod, which was the iPod with scroll wheel, was only compatible with the Mac, but mainly since the Mac was only the one that had a FireWire cable, which was the only way to transfer, sync, and charge the device. You would need to have an adapter which came separately or sometimes with the iPod itself. The software on it, which you really don't care, is a Mac has 1.5 and iTunes version. You can use iTunes 3.0 or later. You can't play any photos or videos on it. The only connections that you have is a FireWire, a 3.5 millimeter stereo headphone jack, and well, that's not a port, but you have the hold button switched off right now. There's no camera on it. Now, battery and power. You have a built-in regular lithium polymer battery. It takes up to 3 hours to charge fully, and it uses to power it and to charge it. You need a 6-pin FireWire or power adapter, and playtime you have 10 hours. The history on this is that it was the next generation of the iPod, which was such a big success back in 2001. So a few differences were included into this, which was the scroll wheel and the touch wheel. With the scroll wheel, the whole entire wheel would move along with you, but with the scroll wheel, can't see it, but nothing's moving. So pretty simple. Of course, nowadays we have the touch wheel, which is a lot more efficient and better. This wasn't really made to replace the original iPod. It was just made to update a few things and etc. etc. The first iPod had a 20-minute skip protection, which was pretty big back in its day. And now, let me just plug the iPod in so you can see. This is not an Apple brand FireWire cable, but you don't have to do for now in this video. When you connect it, usually you'll see the Apple logo, which is I like really good because you don't really get to see the Apple logo that much, and when you connect your regular iPods or something like that. Oh yeah, the price of this for a 10 gigabyte model was $400, and the price of it for a 20 gigabyte model was $500. Okay, now we'll go to the iBook. Now you can see here it pops up. I've named it Apple's iPod. It shows a picture of the original iPod. Touch wheel, you can see it's got calendars and contacts. iTunes will automatically open up if you select it. It's your choice. It really isn't, but default it would turn on itself. Okay, so basically the only options you would have is Apple. You would have the name of it, and you would have the music tab. And now I'm going to click on the iPod itself. Bear with me. Okay. So I have iTunes 7 on here, or 7. I have 8 on here. So this is a lot older than what you're used to with the new 11 that came out. So the name, you have the regular stuff, the picture, name, capacity, and everything like that. Capacity, it says 10, but the reality capacity is 9.29 gigabytes. Software version 1.5, and format is Macintosh, which meaning you can only use it with Mac right now. if you would want to use it with Windows, you would have to reformat it, stuff. So the only things you have up here: music, podcast, and calendar. So we have. Let me go back to the summary real quick. Okay, so I've tried to restore it, but apparently it doesn't allow me. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just out of date and they don't have it no more. But down here, of course, you have the other options to open it, manually manage music, and enable this use. So it's not gonna let me do anything. All right, now after done with the specs, oh gosh, I need to eject it. Yeah, I'm that kind of person that wants to eject it. Like using the computer instead of manually doing it. And today you can eject it all you want, it won't mess up the iPod, but back then really it was kind of a big thing to eject it at that time. Okay, so you have the OK symbol to unplug. Give me a second. Alright. Okay, and even when you unplug it, you see an Apple logo. And right now the screen is pretty dark, but don't worry, I'll fix that in a second after. Now let's make it turn on. Okay, you can't see that really good, so let's turn on backlight. Wait for it. Alright, that's better. Okay, so now we have on the regular screen, you have iPod, the amount of charge it has, which mine is running low, music, extra settings, shuffle songs, and backlight. So, music, you have the regular playlist. It's basically the same thing as a regular iPod. Extras, the only thing you have is clock, contacts, calendar, and game. Really, that was the only game they had, and it was basically the version of Breakout for Apple, but it's just called Game. So let me just preview a little. So basically, the goal is just to break out. Alright, so let's not get addicted to that right now. Okay, settings. You have the classic things. You have About, which tells me a little bit. I have 133 songs, not that many. 9.2 capacity, 8.5 gigabytes available. Version 1.5, and it tells me the SN number. Main menu, you have the option to put stuff. This iPod, of course, does not have radio on it, so that's one thing. You have the EQ. I have it set to bass, amplifier, contrast, alarm, sleep timer, date and time. Pretty much, it's the classic iPod gone through a lot of back time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I really didn't talk much about. Well, I didn't talk much about it, but I hope you guys can maybe get your own iPod. I mean, this is basically the same version as other iPods that in its range. Mainly, it's more like the iPod Classic. So you know how those are, really big, really can store a lot of songs. One more thing I want to show y'all is how it looks like when you're playing a song. Alright, so you have now playing. The play button of the corner tells you which number song. It tells you the name, the artist, the album, and it has, of course, your little thing. You can change the volume on there as much as you want. And let's see, let's put this to sleep by holding the play button. Go to sleep. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video. You've seen how to basically use it. I doubt most of you out there even have one of these iPods. Most of you, maybe you don't even have an iPod, but this is a great buy if you ever find it. It's a really big piece of history for me. Second generation iPod with a scroll wheel. No, touch wheel. I'm sorry. So, iPod second generation touch wheel. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.